So we got like Avatar like right here on like in the down bottom right there, you know. Let me just like prep my hair, you know. Gotta be like season 2 or season 3 Zuko, where after he cut his hair started to naturally like grow. I don't know if it's as polished as his. My hair is as polished as his, but I'm gonna make it work. I just need probably like a scar. All right, homies, we are back. We're back for like it's been 2 weeks since the Avatar Legends closed alpha playtest attacked, and I was one of those that got attacked. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah got invited into the closed alpha test on PC. Got the fortunate chance to try out the Avatar closed beta, and yeah, it was really fire. There was like a whole like survey that we did. Let me just like bring it up as like a frame of reference. So Avatar Legends, for anyone that's like not familiar, is a fighting game published by Gameplay Group International that comes from the publishers of Them's Fighting Herds, right? It is a 1v1 kind of low, well, not really like low budget. There is like really like good quality animations with Avatar Legends. It is a 1v1 fighting game with assists, no, not assists, but variations or support, quote unquote supports, right, from the Avatar universe. You have playable characters in this closed alpha: Aang, Katara, Korra, and Zuko, and each one has like support characters that enables you to do gameplay stuff that are really like nutty, but we'll talk about like that later. But Avatar, man, I'm thinking, my mind is going crazy. When I first like opened up the game, right, this is like me just like going back to like the first day of the closed alpha playtest. Holy shit, just by like hearing the songs, it's not like 1-to-1 from the original like OST of Avatar from like 2004. Nah, but it does have like some similar bops and vibes from the OG show, and even to like, you know, Korra to an extent, right? It actually felt like, for me, like jumping back into like 2004 when I was a wee lad, about like yay high, like around where my hand is, watching Avatar for the first time on Nickelodeon before their eventual fallout of Dan Schneider, you know, disgusting weirdo behavior. Yeah, I was just watching the show like any kid did back in the day, and Avatar was like awesome. Of course, you know, season 1 has like some rough spots, you know, because it was the first of its kind. Animations did not look that crazy until season 2 and season 3, but it was a good concept. It was a fun ride. We got along with the characters and story of Avatar, and I became like an Avatar kid ever since like then. I even like dug Korra, you know? Although in retrospect, like, I love Korra, I just don't understand why there's so many people that like hate on Korra. I get it for like the plot and the narrative, but I definitely dug like the music and the characters. I just wish if we had like a monkey's paw or like a documentary of like what really like could have happened or what was going on behind the scenes of Korra. Dude, cause I'm tired of these fucking Aang lasers, bro. What was it? Avatar, yeah, open it up, felt like playing like, felt like watching the show for the first time, right? From title menu to character select theme to like all of like the nooks and cranny of like the character, from the character animations to the background characters to the little oodles of Easter eggs and references in each stage, right? Like the world of Avatar Legends, the fighting game, is so fucking charming that like, bro, it reignited my love for like Avatar, right, in profoundly like new ways. That's on just like a visual aesthetic alone. Of course, like the music is like not one to one with like Korra and The Last Airbender, but definitely made you feel like you're in that. It definitely made you feel like you're in that world. But that's like aesthetics. Visual aesthetics, audio, acoustic aesthetics, things like that. As far as gameplay goes, so right, this is like the main thing, which is the gameplay of Avatar Legends, the fighting game. I was kind of expecting like an MK1 sort of style, where MK1 you get to play as like a character, and then you have like a cameo character or an assist character that backs you up. No, this is really like Avatar Legends is pretty much a MKX vibe, right? So I talked about like the assists, and each character has 3, they say supports, but in actuality, because it's MKX, variations. You have Aang that has like 3 supports, which is Gyatso, Monkey Atsu, Appa, and Momo. Those 3 characters specifically. Korra has her dad, Tonrok, Naga, her pet polar bear dog, and Rava, the light side of the Avatar. Then you have Katara, who has Taya, her grandma, Hakoda, Katara's dad, and Master Paku. Yeah, Master Paku. And Zuko has Mai, his girlfriend and wife. Ran and Shah, the 2 dragons that you see in the episode of the Sun Masters. June and Nala, the Avatar hunters. So you really have a MKX sort of like game in an Avatar IP, and the gameplay is, I was not expecting it to be like, super fast or crazy mind-blowing mind expansion type of like shit, So in the game you have light, medium, and heavy, right? And pressing these buttons are like in sequence is your Gatling combo, your chain combo, your bread and butter. You have not really like launchers, but more specifically anti-airs. You have anti-airs. They act as though they're like launchers if you have like a down H, but definitely like it didn't like give me that like by the absurd amount of hours I was like lapping it. And I played this Avatar Legends fighting game for like 6.5 hours, almost like 7, So trying to like make a balance of like lapping and online. That's what I did, since like, I couldn't like stream the Avatar Legends fighting game as much as I wanted to, because Friday I had like my thing with mom. I had to go do Friday prayers. Then Saturday I had to go out with mom for food, and then Sunday I had to go out with family for more food, and then Monday, which is like the last day of the beta, I had class, right? So unfortunately I couldn't invest as much time as I wanted to because I was busy with IRL life. I got like the idea of the gameplay the more I lapped this game, and the more I saw other people who got into the alpha lab playing this game. Light, medium, heavy, Gatling string, right? You have air combos, you have air specials, you have you have rounded specials, you have supers, you have level 3s. You also have a flow button, which this is where like the game gets like crazy. The flow button is like, this game has like plank dashing or wave dashing, right? So that alone is, already advanced, because you can literally like, plank dash or dash to the character at like very like advanced level speed. Kind of like, Marvel vs. Capcom plank dashing, right? So that's cool, but they made dashing, forward dashing and back dashing a little bit like slow, because the main thing about Avatar Legends the fighting game is the movement. And by Allah, by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, dude, the movement is so fucking crazy. Wow, man. I played most of the beta with like Korra, and dude, the movement of just like going forward, going backward, because the flow stance is where your movement goes back to. You have a flow stance. If you hold it down, it's like an auto projectile and physical and projectile parry, or like dodge. You know, there's no like parry with the dodge. There are some characters that have like, or maybe like one character that has like a counter, a hold down dodge. You know, you get to hold it down for as much as you want, evading like projectiles, evading even like long like strings. You know what doesn't work? Throws, right? Because that's obvious, right? If you have like a thing that evades throws, then that flow move would be fucking busted. The interactions that you do with the flow, like command flow moves, as they would like call it, yo, you unlock some really fucking funny shit with Avatar, right? With Korra, for example, she has a forward run where she like dashes with the flame like thrusters like on her hands. She also has like a back flow that like does like the moment where she learned airbending for the first time. Be the leaf, right? She also has like flame jet like boosters like in the air. The movement in Avatar feels like, yo, this is so in line with like the Avatar universe, right? Because Avatar, like in general, is like, it's so cool because it's like kid-friendly martial arts with like mystical bending powers that most of the cast have in this IP. The things that you can do with like Avatar feel so like, again, mind expandery, right? Like Gatling combos and stuff like that, that's pretty cool. But when I start like experimenting around, like, you know, what can be canceled? What can go into like what, you know? Started like going into it, and it's just like, wow, the flow movement is actually really fucking nice. As soon as I got hands-on impressions of like the online matches, which we'll also be like talking about like later, dude, the fucking just theory crafting like on the fly, like what do I do with like the flow button is so insane, man. Just for like the ability to like, you know, have all these like evasive like neutral options that like you can do. It feels so fresh and crazy. Like like that weekend of like Avatar, I was just looking at FGC streamers and content creators that have got hands-on at Avatar. Just watch them like move. It's like a very like martial arts, like, you know, Chinese like movies. And of course it is like the show, so it's very orgasmic to like watch them go ham, you know? It's insane. Every character has like different like flow moves and flow, I would say, neutral. The stuff that you could do is like Aang is insane. The stuff that you could do with like Zuko is insane. A Rekka character, to an extent, he could like throw out like fireball after fireball after fireball. Dude, this bitch, people in the dev team in that Avatar game really love Zuko. The crazy stuff that you can do with these characters in this like game style is insane. The more I'm like thinking about them, the more I'm like, you know, dude, I'm just like so fascinated that like I wish I could play the game again to like understand and find out like more though, right? Like, bro, the combos though really get like creative as well, you know? There are some legit fucking like, this is one like criticism of it, there's some like TODs in this game. Like, what the fuck? There are like TODs in this game, Khaiza? Why are there like TODs in this game? I mean, there is. And the more like I played it, and the more I start listening into other like content creators make that like you know, claim that there are TOD, make this claim about like TODs and stuff. The game is like DNF Duel. Y'all remember like DNF Duel? It was like a 1v1 like type of like game, or even like, well, I mean, of course, I said MKX, but this is also DNF Duel, because in DNF Duel, it's a 1v1 type of like fighter. You have all these like crazy intricate like anime characters, these like meter systems in Avatar. You have technically like two. You have this chi gauge, which is directly underneath like the characters' like health bar. That is like how much chi you have, and that's associated with flow moves and things like that. And then you have something at the bottom, directly underneath the flow, the flow gauge, or the chi gauge. Sorry, the chi gauge, and that is the orbs or the chakras, which is very like funny because like, bro, they're calling back to like fucking OG Avatar, like the 7 chakras that unlock the Avatar state. Damn, the chakras indicate like they're pretty much your drive bar in Street Fighter, where like a pip is like your what was it, DI? There's no like DI in this game. No, there's no drive impact, but 2 chakras equals to a 2-bar EX move, to a meter burn EX move, and they have like some crazy properties. If y'all have like seen playing like the game, they have like different properties, whether it's like, you know, an armorable move, or like, you know, an invincible move, things like that. How to unlock chakras, or how to like do chakras, is that the simplest procedure, you have to hit opponents with a special move, and that's how it really works. Hitting special moves is like relatively like easy. You could do like any number of like special moves, from like projectiles to command grabs to things like that. It's really simple like activation. 4 chakras equal to like a level 1 super, while all 7 chakras unlock your level 3 or your big ultra. The chakras, the chi gauge, you really have to like understand and like use them. And this game is like, you won't get like an understanding until you played like a couple of like matches, but this game is fast as fuck, boy, right? Like really fast. Cause damn, man, things just like hit you, right? Super fucking fast, without you knowing, without like any comprehension, and you just have to like, you know, deal with it, right? Like, I've been on the receiving end in the first phase of like the alpha, and I was just getting mollywopped on like the second day. Characters already found like high damage, like 50% like combos. Very DNF Duel, because in DNF Duel you get to do like long like strings without not really like any limiters. I mean, you do like have, you know, chi stuff that like you could use like special moves at the chi gauge's like expense. Some of them like do, but most of them will use like chakras and whatnot. Oh, and another thing about like the chakras is that you can't use them. You can't use multiple special moves to unlock the multiple like chi gauges. Like, I think I've tested out, or I've seen, maybe it could be like an assumption that the special moves in a combo, you unlock like 1, and that's really much it. There's nothing else. But the combos are very like DNF Duel, where it's like they're very long. Some even like to the point of like TOD, right? Like touch of death, 1 touch of death. Like, that's insane. For a 1v1 type of like fighter, bro, I got like counter hit like there are counter hits in this game. Big ass fucking counter hits. There's even like a lethal hit system, a la Soul Calibur 6. Bro, so we're having Soul Calibur or MK11 like what was it, critical blows or lethal hits in this game? That's fucking crazy. They can be like short, but they're very like high damaging, and there are even like combos that once again can do like 50% TODs. You know, like games can be like relatively like very, you know, short, because of this gameplay idea in mind. Definitely needs to be like toned down a little bit, like some like scaling, for it to not be, you know, touch of death. Only with like, you know, certain characters, right? But dude, that's so fucking crazy. The combos are genius. You have like different command like normals that you can go into and cancel into like flow moves, which I was like discovering with like Korra. You have certain like supers that can help you unlock your hidden potential. This game really is like something, you know? Combos are great, flow movement is really cool. The idea of like flow stance and chakra moves are really something, in a positive way, not in like a, you know, negative way. Again, I just keep like going back to like my memories of Avatar, and I'm just like, oh bro, this is so cool. I want to keep playing, I want to keep like going. Yeah man, like I just had like a blast just like playing this game. For a game that's like not really like the AAA budget like a Tekken or a Street Fighter, it definitely is, or a Marvel Tokon even, it definitely is like a noteworthy contender in a worthy contender in the ring of fighting games, especially in this like climate where everything is like all team based or tag based. This is like the one fighting game like that's like new. The combat of Avatar is great, just probably like tone down some of like the combo and nerf like the damage a little bit. I will also like air blocking though, because damn man, you're trying to like throw out a move and like there's no instances of like blocking in the air. You just get like hit. Very old-fashioned 1v1. would like that. I would like that. I know a lot of people are against it, but I would personally like that. Just give me more defensive options. I mean, there are already like defensive options, right, with Avatar, with the flow movement and, you know, things like that. There's also guard reversals, counter reversals, flow reversals. There's also even that. Still, like, I would love to like have like a little bit more, you know? Maybe just like air blocking. That's just like a me thing. Gameplay, still solid. Characters though, I love them, bro. I was experimenting and labbing them on like the first day. Yes, I like stuck with like Korra for the most part because Korra's my girl. I love like her attitude and spirit from the Korra show. But I definitely dug like Aang a little bit. I understood why Zuko is good, right? So Aang is like, you know, the airbender, right? And I brushed upon him a little bit like a few minutes ago that, yeah, Aang just gets like super sauced up with like airbending. The way he like, you know, he has like air scooters. He has air scooter variation with Monkey Atso. He has like air gliders via Appa and well, not Appa. Appa gives Aang the ability to cancel any normal move into a flow move, right? So he becomes a crazy like little kid mix lord. He also has like Momo, which enables him to cancel air glider into another air glider. So he has a lot of like options, no pun intended, like in the air. So Aang is definitely like cool. I wish he was like, you know, season 3 Aang instead of like OG season 1 Aang, which they always like do in video games, like just a holy fuck ton, you know? It's always like season 1 Aang because that's like the most iconic one. I wish they do something like that. And then there's like Zuko, which I like tried out a little bit on like the first day. From the few moments that I played Zuko, I understood why. Zuko's like, you know, a solid fucking character. He is like pretty much like the Fulgore of Avatar, where like Fulgore in Killer Instinct, you could play him in either two ways: a rushdown like aggressive character, or deeply degenerate like projectile focused Zuko. And that's what like Zuko is. You can either like play projectile Zuko with like my support that gives him better projectiles, or you can play like Rushdown Zuko with like more movement tools with Ran and Shaw, or with like June and Nyla giving you like multiple dive kicks like you're playing Doctor Doom in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Yeah, Zuko is a fucking beast. For the most part, I played against like projectile Zuko because that's where like everybody was like playing. Everybody was a scum-sucking projectile Zuko player for the most part. But even then, like Zuko can do crazy combos, and his unique gimmick, spending so much meter to go into burnout because he has like a little gauge where Zuko, every time you're burned out or if you're unbalanced, right? That's where you expend all of your chi in this game. You become unbalanced, so you don't have access to your flow moves, and flow moves are really like a critical like gameplay mechanic in this game that unlocks your hidden potential as an avatar character. But the thing is with Zuko is that every time you burn out and regain your shit, you get a redemption gauge, which is like a little icon underneath your health bar, and it's literally like in the homage of the blue spirit, his mask and the sword. Every time you go burn out, you can unlock more redemption chains and redemption chains are, you can chain special move after a special move, kind of like a Rekka character. So he is like a chores character, so that's really interesting. That's really interesting, you know? He is like the high risk, high reward, because when you think about in Burnout, like in Street Fighter, you definitely think of all your resources are gone. Like you can't use EX moves, special moves, DI, things like that. So you are deeply negative. The game tricks you that you could become more aggressive, no holds barred, when you're burned out or unbalanced. I don't think we discovered that in Avatar. Maybe we need to test it out a bit more. But for Zuko specifically, the more you get burned out, the more level ups you get during the pace of the game, and that's crazy. That's fucking insane. We also played Korra. Korra is your Shoto fucking character. If I were to recommend Pyro a spot in the Avatar Legends fighting game, Korra would definitely be his main, cause she can do she acts as though she is a Shoto character. She has a fireball, she has a DP, she has a Tatsumaki kick. She even has an air version of it. She really is the Ryu and Ken of this game. And by the way, there are no complicated inputs in this Avatar game. It's only quarter circle forwards and quarter circle backs Korra has this unique mechanic called the Avatar Path Cycle, where you have to do your moves in the order of the Avatar cycle, which is a very also cool ass nod in reference to the show. So you do those moves in sequence. And the next special move that Korra does becomes amped up. You're getting a free EX, you're getting an enhanced version of that special move, almost as if it's an EX move. And also you get Avatar EX moves, where you can spend a little bit more chi and chakra. I think it's chi, not chakra. And you get to go for crazy cash out damage with Korra. And that's just the starter. She also has this avatar state that she can go into. She can go into it manually by spending 4 chakra, or by reaching a certain HP threshold, like a Nago Ryuki reach a certain threshold with blood instinct on, you know? And when you get into avatar state, your whole kit becomes empowered. You get your EX moves super powered up, you get your regular special moves super powered up. You just become a monster of an avatar, right? She is the one character that could do TODs. She is the one character. We tested this out a bit. She can do like legit loops. She can do TODs. She can do touch of deaths. Like, this character is fucking insane. And we saw dudes like Maximilian. We saw El Chacote. We saw so many people that like discovered the true potential of like Avatar Korra. Bro, she is insane. Everybody soon started to like play her. Everybody. Like, holy shit, man. She is fucking insane, right? On top of the already like flow moves that she has, bro, she gets even crazier with Avatar State. And then there's Korra, which I think I fought like a few of. She is pretty much like mid-screen zoner character. Her gameplay gimmick is about like, hers is like water bending, but she does like water whips, right? She is like a Rekka character that can like cancel a cascading strike, if I were to call it that. Cascading strike into another cascading strike, right? Very similar to like Rekka characters of yore, like Iron Fist and stuff like that. Yeah, she is a fun character, but I did not like vibe with her as much, you know? I just didn't find her gameplay very interesting, even though I love like Katara, but she's kind of like meh, like mid, you know? So I didn't really like fucks with it a lot. So all the characters are really like interesting, ranging from crazy, goofy, wacky to like, you know, almost like boring and basic, but in a good boring and basic, you know? Because of like the game's like tools that they give you. I'm just wondering like, what are they gonna give our girl Toph? Or are they gonna give like Iroh? Azula? Bro, I'm really like curious though. That's like the characters, right? So we only got to like play like 4 characters because of like the closed alpha. And this is where we like talk about like the online, right? So like the online is based on like, of course, obviously, rollback netcode, and there was only like a few like players. It's not like a open beta like we have in some other like the fighting games. We got like a foothold into like, you know, the combat or like the gameplay. Gameplay is like really solid, you know. I was playing it on like my my Quamba Q8 silent arcade stick right there. It actually works on like, you know, Avatar, so I got to do like, you know, crazy flow movement at a comfortable controller pace, you know, so I felt really comfortable. Although the stick like drifts a little bit, I'll have to like fix that. But yo, the online felt really good. Matchmaking felt really like solid, only in like certain instances where I get stuck with like the one character or things like that. Or there's even like a moment when like one person was literally wiggling their Ethernet cord just to like make me lose, you know? But other than those like spotty, dodgy connections and malignant matches, right, I would say, the overall online felt really, really fine. Like, just getting into a match felt really good. Doing like combos and flow movement, like the more online time I like played on like Saturday and Sunday, the more I felt like comfortable. And this is coming from a person that is like super casual at fighting games. I used to play online back then, but then it just like, I got lazy with online and I just didn't want to like play anymore with fighting games online, because it like creates like a lot of like stress for me and antithesis of like a fighting game player, because that's like your job is to like play people with varying different like backgrounds. But you know, for me it's just like I get itchy when it comes to like playing fighting games online. I really like get super like flustered if I don't like hit something in a fighting game. you know, so many like variables. I just gotta like, you know, super flustered whenever I don't like hit something, right? And it makes me feel like super upset. I just gotta like instill into like my soul, my brain, my heart, my nunu, that I just gotta like play it for like fun. There's no like ranked mode in here, right? I just gotta play like this. These are like fun matches. Did not have fun, although on my first day of online with Avatar, where players have figured out TOD combos and stuff like that, either I was like fighting devs or people were like fiending on the first day and just found the crazy stuff with like Zuko, Korra, Katara, things like that. I'm just like, bro, how do I play? And as soon as I start playing more and discovering more mechanics like in the game, I actually found like solid like footing. I actually found solid footing with like the online. Most of like the online I felt like was really solid. Like, I think every match I had was like roughly 100 like ping, and 100 ping was like not bad, right? There was one I remember with like 200 ping, so I didn't like want to test that out, but I could imagine it's like, you know, it would have been kind of okay if I like accepted, but then again, I didn't want to like, you know, risk it. I didn't want to like risk it, you know? Overall, the matches felt solid. Thank God bless for rollback netcode being like the godfather, the savior of fighting games. And the matchmaking itself is like, yeah, it was like a little bit, you know, okay. I would say okay, because it is like a closed playtest, right? It's not open. I think they were just like doing it for the fact that like they're still like in a developmental cycle with this game, and this playtest was only in North America and South America, only like 2 regions. So most of the connections that you would have were either from the US or South America, and that is in a way like pretty solid, though I will give it that, right? Because it's like, if they started out with like open beta, there would have a closed beta, but in worldwide interactivity, there would have been a lot of hiccups and bugs or errors that there would have been but there would have been, you know, but we would have like found if it was like, you know, this beta or this alpha was released like worldwide. This was kind of smart that they tested it out like in a local environment, you know? So I'm glad on them that they actually like did that. Actually, like, you know, gives them a good rough idea of how they'll plan things out later on until the game's actual like release, right? So most of the matches we fought are in US or South America. All the matches like felt good, exactly like 100 milliseconds, and you would get like matches like kind of like rapidly quickly. Like, I think the fastest I got was like probably 10-15 seconds, around like 10 to 15-ish seconds. I think I'll have to like, you know, look back and, you know, exactly recall how long it took between like matches. Overall, the matches felt like smooth and things like that. So yeah, like Avatar Legends, the fighting game, definitely has some good ideas, definitely has like some good calls, right? This is not going to be like a huge fucking roster though. This is not going to be like a huge Avatar fighting game. As much as we would like all of like the characters that we would like to want and have to be like in the game, this is gonna probably launch with like 12 characters at max, maybe like 16, because it is like not a AAA game. This is probably like AA at best, so there's not a lot of time and budget, right, to go into get more avatar characters into the game. And plus there's also like the assist characters as well, right? And also, the most importantly, this game's fucking hand drawn. Like, this is not like, as people mockingly said, a Flash game.
Bruh.
Like, this is not a Flash game. This is actually like hand drawn, which is one thing that's like really impressive about Avatar Legends, the fighting game. You hardly ever see hand drawn, right? Unless you're like a Skullgirls, which I don't know if it's still developing like characters. I think they're done with like their seasonal characters with Skull Marie or something like that, but this is one of the few games that's like literally like hand drawn. An era where there's like a lot of high graphical fidelity with Unreal Engine 5, you know, like games like Tekken and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, that we're pushing the boundary of what it means to be like a fighting game. And there's hardly like games like Avatar that looks the way it does, you know? But that's on the anime, but that's on a visual aesthetic, which I should have like included at the beginning. Overall, Avatar just feels fine. It feels fire. Man, I just want like more. I heard there's going to be more playtests coming soon. So I literally can't wait. I literally can't wait for this Avatar game. I'm like in the need to be like in the Avatar state again. I want to keep going, bro. I want to find out more. I want to see like who gets added. Like, no shit. I want to make like Avatar, Legends, the fighting game, my like fighting game. You know? I want to make it so. And I gotta like push myself to venture out, practice my fighting game bending styles, you know? Because man, I've been getting lazy with my fighting games. I haven't been playing online in Fatal Fury, even though it's like my favorite game, or Street Fighter, or things like that. I've just been getting lazy. I've just been playing other games, and I want to like get back into the fighting game spirit. So I want Avatar. I want Avatar to be like that it game for me. I'll dedicate myself to be like the best fighting Avatar Legends fighting game player there is. Because I'm in like, no shit, like a honeymoon phase. I think this is like way better than like Dokkan for me. Not to act as like, you know, I mean, of course, I am spiteful that I didn't get into like Dokkan, because I have to be like a good upstanding citizen. But thank Allah that I got into this Avatar Legends fighting game, because otherwise, man, I would have not known what this game really like was, bro. And I'm, again, for like the 10th time, still thinking about my playtime with Avatar. Still thinking about like the characters, the combos and stuff like that, the ways of discoverability. Dude, I just want to keep going for more, man. I just want to keep going. I just want to find out more. What else can I do? How much can I push myself to find out like more? God, Gameplay Group International, please bring another like bring another playtest or something. I want to keep playing. I'm getting like that itch for Avatar. Fuck, I needed like an Avatar shirt. I need the whole series as a Blu-ray. Fuck, man. I want more, man. I want to play more Avatar, man. This game looks fire. This game plays fire. Man, bro. Shit. But overall, the Avatar fighting game is awesome. I wanna like keep playing, man. It's insane. Give it like a fucking, give it like a 9 out of 10 for me. Very high though. I love this game.